From the slowest downloads to the smoothest streams of cyberspace, welcome to the Kidawa Show. And here's your host, Arthur Kidawa.
Welcome back. Welcome to the Kidawa Show, your late night style YouTube talk show. Today we're going to have a little bit of a dirty but very fun interview. So if you like gritty and grungy guitar play, then you will like this guest. Guys, please welcome Mike Glendinning to the show tonight. And without further ado, let's get over to that big red beautiful couch. Welcome everybody, welcome back to the Kidawa Show. Today, from the restless streets of San Francisco to the gritty sounds of the guitar, please welcome the man himself, Mr. Mike Glendinning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Arthur.
Thanks for coming, Mike. First of all, did I say your last name all right?
You did it very well. It's Glendinning.
Glendinning.
Yes, but that's okay. I've heard it all, dude.
I was just going to say it has a certain melody to it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people pronounce it Glen.
Right.
But I'm also known as, in a city in the East Bay of San Francisco, case number 082434. I'm also known as you son of a bitch to some neighbors.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Keeping it real here, keeping it real. How are you today, Mike? How are you doing? You looking good?
I'm doing all right, man. I decided to keep my morning face on to show people, how real I keep it here in the East Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area.
There you go. All right, you got some coffee there with you?
Nope.
You don't need coffee.
Just adrenaline right now, man, because I'm on the Kidawa Show.
Hell yeah, look at that. All right. We're off to a great start here. Now I'm excited. So let's talk about the numbers. Let's talk about your numbers. You got 590 subscribers last time I checked, so nice even number there. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You've been doing videos for a while. You've been around for at least 8 years or so. So you've been busy.
Well, here's the deal. It wasn't until February I decided to really roll up my sleeves and either do my duty or get off the pot with this whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So February, I started making more and more videos because, as a musician, the live scene is very, very saturated with other people. And yesterday I got about 90 listens to my music on just YouTube by itself. That was just on YouTube, not counting all the other places that I put my stuff up on. Then I go out and I play out last night, and there are about 8 people in the club. And this was kind of like an open mic thing, and it's cheaper. It just makes more sense to put my, picking my battles here on the net.
Right, definitely. Save some energy there too. How'd you get started on YouTube, and what's your whole story of transitioning to YouTube? Is that kind of how it got you started when you compared it to doing live shows like that?
Well, you know what? I've always done live shows on, since I was a kid. And then, I noticed YouTube back in 2008, 2008. And, it was a lot different than it is now.
Sure.
And the stats were a lot different than it is now. Back then you had 5 stars to pick from, and whether you liked the video or not, and you could respond to each, like if you see a video you like, you can take one of your videos and use it as a response, and it will post on someone else's if they approve of it. Remember that song, that horrible song, Chocolate Rain? Right,
yes, I do.
Okay, that was the first, wow moment with YouTube with me, because that was the first publicly, that I noticed at least, the first publicly blown up video of listen to this crappy ass song and this thing's getting a bunch of hits.
Right.
And it was my opinion that the song, it was just kind of in my opinion, it was kind of like, just improvised off the top of the guy's head. And then within about 2 hours of the song going viral, there was Darth Vader doing parodies of it. People like, there's a part where the guy is like moving his head so he can breathe and the microphone doesn't pick it up and somebody puts in farts.
Right. Yep.
Within 2 hours, dude.
Yeah.
And so I'm just sitting there watching this with my jaw dropped. Next thing I know, the guy's on a local radio station and he's doing radio interviews like a week later. And they were just like, do you have a website? Oh no, man, I don't have a website up. They're like, you're an idiot. You need a website. Yeah. You need stuff to sell, But that was the first YouTube explosion. And I just sat there and I'm like, okay, so, I've seen people putting remarks on there and their remarks are getting thousands of hits. This was like during spring break that this guy's video broke out. And so I put my little video up to respond. And, I got like 5 hits and I got an email from some kid that was on spring break talking smack. That's what, that just kind of gave me an idea of what to come, what's to come if, thinking that you're going to just get a little break and, you do a little bit, you're going to get a lot out of it. And for years I got that impression from YouTube. So did a lot of other people. If you do the right thing at the right time, you're going to get a lot of views, which is bullshit. Then I started taking classes on how to look at the numbers and stuff. And, I started taking YouTube very seriously where I started making videos. I started looking at online classes about branding. Okay. And that's where I have my little mascot, Crass. I don't know if you might want to put him up when the show's up.
Definitely.
He's a little doll that people find just repulsive. He's, originally he was like this little doll that looked like me, and I put a little goatee on him. Back then I had a goatee. Okay. And it was brown, and then through time it got smeared where it looked like stool. Right. And people are just like, dude, that doll's disgusting. And I just rode with it. He's in a lot of my videos. And, he's kind of like my Camel Joe. You remember Camel Joe from the 90s? Yep. Or Mickey Mouse. It's like every time you saw Mickey Mouse, you thought of Disney. Yeah. Every time you saw Camel. Yeah, and you know what, dude? It's like a lot of people are like, dude, that doll's disgusting. Yeah, but who do you think of when you see that doll? Yeah. A lot of people, I don't see that on YouTube a lot, I mean, a lot of people who are successful usually have big boobs. I have big boobs, but I don't think it's going to work for me, man.
Well, you never know what kind of crowd you'll attract, but there's a crowd for everything.
Yeah, I'm not into bears, dude.
But it's true, not everybody's using mascots, and whenever even the past website I had or these projects, I always do think of a mascot, not just a logo, but some kind of character, a fun character to go along with your creations to back it up.
Right. And plus, I have a very odd sense of humor, some people would call offensive, which, it kind of helps out with the marketing too, Sure. Definitely, if you're a churchgoer, you might not want to check out my music.
There's your disclaimer.
If you're,
I'd have to say that that offensiveness, or not offensiveness, but kind of honesty and taking reality and having fun with it by just going to the darkness of it. I mean, a lot of comedians do it. A lot of big artists do it. One to name, I'd have to name Louis C.K.
Yeah.
I find him quite a comic genius these days, and he comes up with his original stuff. He gets pretty dark in there, but, he's a family guy, and, at home, privately, we all have our nasty little jokes, you know? And I think we should be mature enough and adult enough to kind of understand that and accept it, and that's the real freedom of the world, is accepting that from each other and not counting on somebody else drawing the rules.
Right. Well, you know what? It's like my art, my music, and, my lyrics and everything. It's my perspective on how I see the world, Sure. And when someone tells me they find it offensive, it's just kind of like, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's the way I view the world. You're going to tell me how I should view the world. That's the one thing about my music is I'm honest with it.
All right.
I don't BS it. I don't sugarcoat it. What you you know, it's like that one song I have, Three Doggies. You know, it's a true story. This lady was walking three dogs, big dogs, and she had like a 5-gallon garbage bag of dog crap. And, you know, it's like this lady sees these three cute dogs that she loves and she sleeps with and all that. I see a big bag of dog crap. That's disgusting. You know, and
Right.
you know, it's a perspective, and it's my perspective. And, you know, as I continue to grow as an artist, I realize what my boundaries are with people telling me what I should and shouldn't say. You know?
Right.
So
Right. No, I think you're going around about it the right way. And, you know, there's different perspectives. Some are prettier, some are uglier. But in the end, that's what real artists and all the, you know, the big people grow off of. And that's what people want to see. They want to see someone that's into their own thing. Even if they get offended sometimes, there's still that unconscious pleasure they like to get from it because they know that person for that thing. It starts to become that artist.
exactly.
So, what kind of musical influences can you mention? Who or what bands kind of influenced you and pushed you to the direction you're going?
Well, you know, I was born in the 70s, and so I was raised by parents who had a vinyl collection. And back then, I hate to sound like an old fart, but, you know, back then, you know, you put on a record, you kept the record on, and you put the record somewhere where someone can pick up the record and look at the artwork. We had big speakers that this record went into, not these little, you know, eensy weensy iTunes things, but big speakers that made the whole house resonate. So, you know, my dad got me into Buddy Holly. He had this album called Buddy Holly Lives. Before that, I was into listening to a lot of rap. When I was a kid, I was listening to a lot of Run DMC, Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys was the one band that if your parents found you listening it to and they listened about how, and if they heard you hear the song about I did it like this, I did it like that, I did it with a wiffle ball bat, then they will take the, you know, they flip out and they call their friends up going, my son's listening to that fucking Beastie Boys album, oh, and throw out the tape. You know,
Right.
I started listening to some rap, but then I started listening to Buddy Holly, and my dad would sit there and, you know, it's like in my house, it was like sometimes if a good album was on, we didn't just listen to the album. You'd hear my father talk about what he knew about the artist. This is way before the net, you know, and you could catch little bits and pieces from other kids' parents. MTV, back when it was MTV.
Right. Yep.
And
Good old days.
yeah. And, you know, my dad would sit there and say, you know, I'd rather listen to Buddy Holly than Elvis any day. And I said, why? And my father said, you know, Buddy Holly wrote most of his songs. Elvis didn't. That's what my father thought. I'm sure there's some people that would debate with that.
Sure.
But I thought that was so cool that Buddy Holly wrote his own stuff.
Yeah.
And then, you know, one thing led to another, and I was listening to his Doors albums and all that. So I got really into his vinyl collection. And then back in the 80s, there was this TV show called Classic Capsules or something on MTV. This is a long time ago. That was the first time I saw Jimi Hendrix on the video.
Nice.
Are You Experienced? Lighting his guitar on fire. I'd never seen that. I mean, it was just like when you're 11, 12 years old, you're just like, what is this?
Right.
You know, and I told my dad, and he goes, I don't want you listening to Hendrix. Why don't you listen to Eric Clapton? You know, and I just couldn't feel Eric Clapton, dude. But Hendrix was just crazy, man. I mean, it was just like, he was like the Trix rabbit on crack, man. I mean, just all over the place. But then when I was when I hit about 13, I heard Led Zeppelin 4 for the first time, and that was it. I was gone, you know. And I heard Black Dog. That was it. And I must have listened to like Houses of the Holy for about 4 years straight. I listen to Mr. Bungle. You ever listen to Mr. Bungle?
Can't say I have.
Oh, get your hands on Mr. Bungle.
Maybe I would have heard it.
With Mike Patton.
Okay.
Oh, dude. Their
I'll
first
check
album.
it out right after.
You'll get lost in their first album. It's just one of those albums.
Cool. Mr. Bungle.
Mr. Bungle. Not Mr. Butthole, but Mr. Bungle. Then as I got older, I got really into listening to jazz piano players like Monk. Thelonious Monk. I love Coltrane. I listen, I love what he did on Giant Steps. They opened, people like Miles Davis, Monk, Coltrane, they opened up the wizardry to a whole new level of guitar.
All right. Well, yeah, I love your take on the various well-known songs on there, and you give them that grittiness, and I was just thinking, what a great word grittiness is, and grunge. And even when I was thinking what to wear for the show, I picked this shirt out because it's a little bit more gritty, and it worked out. It looks all right with the tie, and it's as gritty as I can get with, wearing the suit and keeping some kind of balance, but I had to honor it. I had to honor the word. I had to honor your style.
Well, thank you.
Let me see. You mentioned, I'm just trying to recall this, that your page was banned. I think your Facebook page was banned, and you made a post about that. Is that right?
Oh, that happens once in a while, man. That's called anonymous haters messing with you, dude.
So, banned from where?
Well, okay, when there was one time where I moved my show from one radio station and I moved it to a podcast multiple times. And then finally I ran it out of my home because we got all the equipment to do the podcast out of my home. And there was so much profanity on the podcast that when I was uploading the podcast on YouTube, it announced that there are certain countries that will not allow my podcast in their country, and I kind of wore that as a badge of honor.
Right. Yeah, what else could it have been, right? Unless it was, you mentioned some specific things, maybe like in history that are offensive, but other than that, it must have been the cursing, right?
Well, it was. I put up a lot of indie music that I think is hilarious. That, some people just would be like, dude, that's so tasteless, and, I can see some countries that allow YouTube in their countries, but under very strict supervision. Because, China does not allow YouTube. Do you know that?
Yeah, they cut it out.
And they don't allow Facebook. They don't allow anything where everybody can mass communicate back and forth.
Even where I'm at, Facebook is banned here, but everybody's using it.
Eesh.
Everybody's using it. Everybody knows how to get into through a different IP, and everybody uses Facebook. That's huge. I mean, Facebook is huge all over Asia. I'd say it's more common than in the U.S. among people. So I think China's probably the same. People are finding their way through, and I don't know about YouTube, but I know Facebook because they need that communication. YouTube's a different story, though. So
why do you think that? Why do you think that the governments are so iron fist on it?
They're just old school governments, and they want to keep their own systems shut in. They don't want influences from the outside, yet they buy American movies and Hollywood movies, which they censor a little bit, but still the main ideas go through. So I don't think that's very feasible. It doesn't make sense. It's a mess of a project that they're doing. They're letting in movies and music and all this crap media. Not all, but some crap media, yet they're blocking off communication. It's like, it doesn't make sense. And email's still out there, so if you really want to send a message, it's still possible. So it's just silly, and it's going to drop eventually. Maybe not in North Korea, but around here, it has to.
Do they allow you to watch The Interview? Jonah Hill and the other guy from Freaks and Geeks, where they try to assassinate the leader from North Korea? You probably haven't heard of it over there.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. I don't stay up to date with. Is it a new movie?
It came out about 6 months ago, but the leader from North Korea threw a big hissy fit about it.
It would probably be around here, unless in Asia they're trying to honor that and stay safe in some way.
Yeah.
But in Vietnam, they're not that picky. I think in China either. As long as it's nothing where they're saying something specifically bad about this country or some leader or making them look really weak, then they're not going to bother with it. They're getting money from this too, so they'll allow it.
So you don't get to watch Team USA.
Team U. Well, if it would go through, I'll tell you one thing. They won't censor the language, which is pretty funny here. So I have students at school that watch these adult movies here. They'll cut out the sexual scenes and the violence, but the language stays the same. So this is the language they're learning. It's this American, hostile movie language. And they don't know if it's good or bad, so sometimes you can't blame the people here for talking like that.
And these are future members of the Crass Nation.
That's right. Exactly. So it's just a mess. It's a mess. It's disorganized, and who knows how long it'll take. But the people are smart. There's always going to be smart people out there. All right. Well, that was an interesting jump off your band page. So yeah, good job on that.
Thanks.
I wonder if any Kidawa episodes or clips will be banned anywhere. That'll be interesting to see. I'll have to post about that once it happens. All right. Do you have a good guitar hanging around there?
No, I don't. I've been running around getting ready for our cool interview, man. However,
yep,
you can check out whatever you want at www.mikegrungejazz.com.
There you go.
www.mikegrungejazz.com.
Beautiful.
Knock yourself out. Buy something, and kids, take your parents' credit card and buy something they don't have to know.
Maybe you can buy it for them, too.
Buy them something, yeah.
There you go.
If you're going to rip your parents off, buy them one of my albums. They'll like it. They'll appreciate it.
That was excellent, Mike, because actually the next topic I was going to cover was your website. So tell us, what can we see on your website?
Well, you can see podcasts that I've done. I've been putting up videos. I do put up blogs. Blogs take up a lot of time, and I've been putting a lot of time in YouTube and meeting fine people like yourself, which means that I can't really blog as much as I can. I have a learning disability, so I can't really I just can't fart out a blog, a 3-paragraph blog, and then like some people can. It's a half-day event for me. Once in a while, there's some good blogs. If you get me pissed off enough and I want to vent, you will definitely see a good blog going on there. I have a store that has all my albums on there.
Excellent.
I have about 5 albums in this store. So, and also you get to meet my friend Crass, who is the mascot of the website.
Nice. How do we meet him?
He's all over.
He's all over.
You'll know him when you see him.
Yep, he's going to be visiting the channel. You never know when he pops up. His head might pop up from this corner, from behind me, from behind him, behind the couch, maybe on the couch. Who knows? Let's see what happens when I start editing this video afterward. So, that's right.
Oh,
see,
Jesus!
See? Oh, see? There he goes again. Oh, yeah, you got to watch your back with this guy. He's a dirty little monkey.
Now, Arthur, keep in mind, Crass is not just somebody who represents www.mikegrungejazz.com, but also Crass is a warrior of the First Amendment as well, where he also has a page on Facebook called crassnation.com. Now, if you get offended very easily and you like to make a spectacle of yourself, I urge you to join that page. If you like to get mad and upset and tell everybody how mad and upset you are, please, I beg you to join the Crass Nation on Facebook.com. Not only is he a warrior of the First Amendment, Arthur, but he is also an educator.
Excellent.
If you look on my YouTube page, which you can find the link to on www.mikegrungejazz.com, if you look into the catalog of videos, you're also going to see Crass singing nursery rhymes, such as ABCs, The Muffin Man, Old MacDonald, Crass style. He pokes fun at some of the political, I call entities in the United States.
Good word.
So there, Crass is not just teaching children nursery rhymes, but also the boogeymen that are within the American politics to look out for under the bed.
There you go. Excellent. I was going to say, so he's a potty mouth from all sorts of directions, if you look at it.
He's an undereducated genius.
There we go. That's better. I was trying to make a pun, but I ruined it. I'm not good at presenting these kind of jokes, and probably the funniest part about me presenting these jokes is how I ruin at presenting them. So, thank you very much for saving me.
No problem, dude.
Once again, kids and adults, all listen. Check out the website at MikeGrungeJazz.com and see what all the noise is about.
And buy something.
And buy something. Buy something. What are you doing? Please. Buy something. There you go. See, he said please. Come on. And even the little guy said please. See, now there's two of them. He's cloning himself. What am I doing with this editing? I don't know, because there's nothing here. I'm losing it. Okay, here we go. Let's go into your most watched video, and that is Elena Video. That's the title. Elena Video. It's got 1,731 views. It's an original, I believe it's an original song of yours. And tell me about it. Tell me, why do you think that one hit it off the best?
Well, because it's been around a long time, and that was the only one I really pushed for a while. But however, that song is about an incident that happened in Florida, in, I believe, Key West, back in the 20s, where a German immigrant fell in love with a Cuban immigrant. He was in his 50s. She had tuberculosis. She died, and he was into Tesla. He was into Tesla inventions. Make a long story short, he stole the corpse. She wasn't into him when she was alive.
Okay.
But when she died, he wound up taking her body and kind of living with the body, and so that's what that song's about. It's necrophilia. Right. I wrote multiple songs about this whole incident.
Yep.
If you go on www.mikegrungejazz.com, there is in the blog post, if you look, you'll find it. Other songs that I have up are also about the story, like the song Them Flies. Mm-hmm. That I posted a few days ago. That song is about the fly's point of view on what's happening to the corpse.
Okay. That's hard.
The song Dust of My Bride is basically about how the guy is keeping the corpse together with piano wire. Raising Daisies, Making Love. It's a really crappy claymation video I made about 3 years ago. And it's basically about how the guy, the plan that's going through this nut job's head of, the course goes, get you out, fix your skin, make you feel better from within.
Right.
This guy, if you read the history on my website, this guy did some really weird stuff to preserve her body.
Yeah, well, these are nasty things. These are very dark things, but the way you're presenting it is artistically. You're not presenting it totally offensively, or it's not offensive. You're just presenting a dark thing, and that's what I kind of liked with the video, was that claymation. And and if people have a problem with it, look at Ozzy. Ozzy's huge, but he's done songs on Mr. Crowley. He's done songs, Tinker Train, about pedophile. These are actually great songs, but they're really dark topics, so it's how you present something, and we know that these people aren't for it, but that's art. You present things in different lights.
The way I approach music and stuff and visuals is kind of a walk through the park compared to people like John Waters. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or Mike Patton. Mike Patton, man, that guy will flat out say all kinds of weird stuff on his albums. And it's like, if you're gonna
same with a lot of rap groups.
Yeah, rap groups. If you look at, I got a video that makes fun of a lot of gangster rap. It's called Peckerwood rap, and it's basically crass rapping and just kind of making fun of. And I got that inspiration by one day I'm sitting there and I'm at a gas station filling up the tank, And this car pulls up next to me, and the car is just blasting, and every other sentence is the N-word. N-word this, N-word that. Yeah, N-word, I shot the N-word, man. I F this N-word, and I did that N-word, N-word this. And it's just like, this guy thinks he's going to get laid. You know?
Creativity
so
at its best.
You know, it's annoying. It's really fucking annoying. And so what I did was I took the idea and I decided to take Crass, and Crass just sits there and raps I Googled every nasty word to describe a white person. And what Pecker, I think it's called Angry White Man or whatever. And basically it's him just like, you know, I have him where his mouth moves, he looks like a puppet. And, you know, it shows him saying all these like words, horrible words to describe white people. Meanwhile, the background shows credit cards, the stock exchange, naked Cabbage Patch Kids with little black marks over their bathing suit areas. That's what I described to my daughter as in her private parts, bathing suit area. But, you know, and that's just my perspective of the world.
Right.
You know, why can't white people make asses of themselves too?
There you go. Yeah. And, well, you know, and it's good that you get a chance to explain yourself, because some people might, you know, just stop by the channel, see something like that and think that's, you know, they take it literally. And obviously it's not literal. There's reasons behind the madness, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me, how long did it take you to make that video? I'm really curious.
Well, I was pretty passionate and pissed off about it when I did it. So I did it within it probably took me about 6 hours to make.
Okay. Which one is that?
That's the Peckerwood rap.
Okay. I was wondering about the claymation one, because the stop motion, yeah.
The claymation took about a month to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tedious. That was not fun at times.
Sure. You
know, the clay wasn't all that hard to do, but the editing itself, and then after doing all that filming and realizing that you don't really have enough to fill the whole video, and back then I didn't really know a lot about editing and stuff like I do now. You know, it took a while. It was a learning. It was a cut my teeth experience.
Yeah, those help a lot though along the way. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's mandatory if you want to gain something creatively.
Yeah, exactly.
If I did the same thing today, I could probably from recording the song to finishing editing and having it on the net, I could probably have it up within about a week and a half if everyone left me alone.
Sure. I hear you.
If I had no responsibilities.
Nice. So definitely the video deserves what it got then. You put in at least a month of effort to, you know, for it. It deserves to get those views and even more. Go check it out, guys. Elena's video. Easy. Elena's video.
And I'm sorry, but after that, then go to www.mikegrungejazz.com and buy something.
There you go. There you go. And the baby thing is reminding you too. That's Baby Mike. No, it's not Baby Mike. Let's not say that. I don't know, is it? No, it's a mixture. It's a morph. It's like the creature from The Thing, but a lot prettier. I don't know.
Mutated.
Mike, what do you think of San Francisco? What would you say is your favorite thing there and the worst thing there?
I'll tell you right now, if I ever moved away from San Francisco, I know that I would miss it within a week. I know I would, no matter where I went, I would miss it. Even with all the weird things going on around here with, you know, I live right next to Berkeley, California. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's some colorful people doing some colorful things that really annoy me. But, you know, it's like,
right.
I've been here my whole life, and, you know, one of the things about the Bay Area that really annoys me, though, is everyone claims to be open-minded, but some people are just like, if you don't think the way they do, if you're not open-minded the way they are, you're not open-minded and you're this or you're that. Yep. You know, you run into some really sideways people around here. However, there are people who do contribute to the sense of community when it comes to arts and music. There's people who are very supportive of the evolution of the arts, evolution of music here. People want to keep it alive.
Right.
I don't know what it's like that around the other parts of the U.S. or the world, but that's one of the things that I really like around here. I mean, I've got friends who lived in the Bay Area, and I've seen them move to other parts of the country, and I've seen them miss this place really fast.
Definitely a great shout out to San Francisco. Tell me, what kind of, in the past, as your life story goes, what kind of jobs have you experienced?
Well, I have, I taught guitar for about 10 years. Basically, I'm raising a small child right now. That's what I'm doing during the day, is making sure she doesn't harm herself or she sees something she shouldn't see, and I'm there to make sure she understands what she saw, you know.
How old is she now?
She'll be 6 soon. So, you know, right now I'm spending a lot of time on my interpretation of what decent parenting is, which would make other people kind of shit their pants. But you know, I've taught publicly guitar in public schools. I've taught guitar privately. I've done just about every GIMP job that a temp agency could offer. So yeah, I'm good at. Look, man, I'm good at a lot of things. Making money ain't one of them.
I'd say my wife would say the same thing about me. Let's get down here. Now,
well, the sad thing is, my wife married me for my money.
All right, that's some sad humor here. Moving along, let's see. So, but the great thing about it is you get a lot of experience. You meet all kinds of people through, you know, through that kind of life process, and that's what it's all about, right? It's that memory. It's
it's rich. It's a rich life, man.
Definitely,
it's a rich life. You know, the thing is you know, one of the things I want my daughter to learn is you don't need money to be rich.
That's
at times.
right.
I know a lot of people with a lot of money, and they're some of the most miserable people I ever met in my life.
Agreed. Yep, agreed. Does money buy happiness? Maybe temporarily.
It could.
Sure.
If you're into hookers.
It gets onto the topic of can money buy love? That's a whole nother topic to discuss too. What kind of things do you like to do in your free time?
In order to get results in music, this is what I do for fun as much as work.
Sure.
You know, I don't really. Back in the day, I used to play video games and stuff, but between my child and music, and I have a wife too.
Sure.
You know, I have a family. And I have music, and both of them are very demanding, and I love the hell out of both of them. I like watching videos of vintage. If I'm just exhausted and I cannot pick up a finger, but my brain will not shut down, I do watch vintage movies of Disneyland, the creation of Disneyland. I've been quite obsessed with the development of Disneyland over the last 12 years. Walt Disney, although I'm not too thrilled with some of the decisions his company's made through the years, I do feel that Walt Disney is a huge contribution to American culture.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And there's a lot of things about Walt Disney a lot of people did not know about.
Sure.
That he contributed a lot to the success of winning World War II. He contributed to a lot of the success of not spreading disease in South America through his cartoons.
Right.
And you got to keep in mind, back in the day when he started doing his cartoons, he was the first one to start cartoons where there were emotions on the character's face.
That's true.
There was, you know, they were interacting with each other. I mean, he was a pioneer from the day he died. The man was a pioneer.
Great.
And he's a huge influence to me. It makes me want to just, like, you know, he was not just one guy with one hat drawing stuff. He was helping invent animatronics. You know, the thing about Disney that I really envied about him, that I wish I had this skill, was putting great teams together. That was his secret. He was a master at putting great teams together that I wish I could do. Just put great teams together and have everybody believe in a single thing. And, you know, it worked back then, and I think it can work now, you know. And I see that on YouTube. You see a lot of what people are, you know, you see a lot of people urging about collaborations, like you and I are doing right now.
Right.
You know, after we're done, I'm going to send you this file. You're going to edit it. You're going to tell me, okay, it's up. And I'm going to promote it hardcore.
Yeah, promote each other.
That's called collaboration.
That's right. And that started, the older YouTubers I've talked to and the bigger ones, they're big into collaborations. They understand that's how YouTube started. It's powerful. But now you talk to a lot of young people and they're just like, you know, I'm going to make it by myself. And what you're not understanding is it's getting harder and harder to make money, first, and two, to get views and a good audience on YouTube. So collaborations are key at this point.
From my understanding, 2 hours are added onto YouTube every 1 second. Wrap your mind around that. That's how much data is being thrown into YouTube now.
Right.
That's what you have to go against.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of people that go on Fandalism and stuff thinking that that's going to, you know, I'd rather go to Fandalism because it's easier. Well, the thing is, Fandalism, man, I've gotten a lot of opportunities through Fandalism. But if you really want to cut your teeth and you really want to develop as an artist, spiritually as an artist, you need to go to the hardest places on the corner of the net and get your ass whooped.
That's right. That's
right.
That's
all it is too. A lot of kids are scared of getting their asses whooped. And the thing is, you know, part of what gets me going and part of how I'm doing decently more and more every day is I am constantly getting my ass handed to me. And I have to go back home and figure out how to sew it back on.
Sure. Yeah, when you guys get those trolls on there, you use trolls like a tool. Trolls are there for you to make yourself better. It's just how reality works. Everybody's a mirror of you. So if you encounter somebody bad in real life and you want to deal with it, that's learning more about yourself. And as a YouTuber, that's growing. So, yeah. I'm really excited that you mentioned Walt Disney. If you take the word innovative, Walt Disney, I think that's someone to look into. Just today I looked at the top movie list of Walt Disney's, the top 52 movies. And I like what you mentioned about him because in the movies, especially back in the day when Disney was making the animated movies, there was a lot of deeper things and adult issues within the whole open field of imagery that was presented. And today, when people see a Disney movie, they're like, it's a Disney movie, it's going to be all soft, and they're starting to prefer Pixar and things like that. Well, it's not always like that. It wasn't always like that, and it didn't start like that. Disney did start as one of these, even look at Fantasia and things like that. Disney did go pretty deep in some areas, and you got to give them respect for that. So yeah, just today I was looking at the top list of 52 movies. So, and what number 1 and 2 is on that list was Lion King and Beauty and the Beast.
Right? Oh, really?
Any favorites you got there?
Knowing the history of how they made the cartoons, I like watching Snow White because of, that was the first full-length animated cartoon ever made. This movie, everyone was telling Walt he was out of his mind for making this. There's no way people are going to go see a full featured animated cartoon. And he made enough money to bring his company to the next level. And if you read stories about that whole thing, about how that movie was made, there was a lot of inventions being created while they were making that movie. Sure. Another favorite one I have of mine is Dumbo. My daughter loves it. But also, they were making Bambi at the same time. And so all the good paint, all the oil paints were going to Bambi. And all the watered all the watered paint was going to Dumbo.
Interesting.
Yeah, just stuff like that, man. Push comes to shove, I do like Dumbo a lot.
Yeah, no, that does go into deeper realms as well. And the great thing, like you mentioned, Snow White, the first full-length animated movie, it's still a great movie today. So that's a huge success. Not just the first one, but it's still, regarded as a great movie, as a great film.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, tell us what's next for you and your channel.
I've been looking at the numbers, been paying close attention to numbers, and I'm going to be making a lot of mistakes, but I'm pumping out videos, about 6 videos a week, looking at the numbers and seeing where I can fine-tune things. Sometimes the numbers are looking better, sometimes the numbers look horrible. I'm a student of this thing, and for the next few months, well, I know what I'm doing is working, but however, I'm in a learning curve right now. I always, one thing that I've learned the last couple of years is when you have something you want to keep it, you have to give it away.
Right.
The information that I learn through YouTube, I will be helping other like-minded artists to get ahead so they have a fighting chance of getting their craft and their hard work listened to by the general public. I know that for a fact. I know that's in the cards.
Right.
But right now, I'm going to learn. I'm going to mess up, and it's basically I'm praying and rowing for sure right now.
All right, great. Looking forward to that, and look forward to keeping an eye on seeing where you're going on your musical and digital mixture of an adventure. So, are you ready for our infamous? Can I say infamous yet? This is the 21st episode, Mike. This is the 21st episode of the Kidawa Show. So,
Nice.
Hooray for that. So, I guess I'll call them infamous. Are you ready for the infamous 10 questions, the 10 speed questions?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. What inspires you?
God.
All right. What is your favorite word?
It's 4-lettered.
Does it start with an F?
Starts with an F.
Alrighty.
Fits everything.
So it is fart. No, I'm joking.
There you go.
All right.
Laugh track.
There you go. See, he knows how it works. And it's still going. I can keep it going. Maybe we'll keep it going the rest of the show, but I'll talk over it. What would you love to be if you could experience being in any profession, the master of any profession, except for something musical or on YouTube, something different?
This is all I've done. I can't really picture anything else.
All right.
Sorry.
That works. That's a good answer, actually, in all actuality. Here we go. What grosses you out?
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes. Wow. All right. So Daddy doesn't smoke.
I can't stand the smell of it, man.
Mm-hmm. I heard that Walt Disney died from lung cancer.
Yes, he did. They did not freeze him.
See?
They did the exact opposite.
More hatred to cigarettes. Let's see. What do you love to hear in the morning after you wake up and at night before you go to sleep?
I like to hear birds in the morning, and at night I like to hear silence, which means I'm not hearing my kid tumble in her bed going, "Daddy, Daddy." I like that sound a lot.
Right. Yep. That's the common answer among parents these days.
Yes, it is.
I don't know why I said these days, all days. What scares you?
Harm to my family. That scares me a lot.
Sure. Definitely. What animal would you love to be if you had to choose to be one?
Wow, that's a whole other show, Arthur.
It's a deep question.
Yeah, I'm gonna since this is kind of like a lightning round, I'm gonna have to pass on that one because there's all kinds of stuff I'd like to be. I'd like to be an ant so I can go into the women's locker room at a gym, or I could be a bird and fly over the city. There's all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
That's a really unfair question. Arthur.
It's all kind of abilities, and you have to choose which one it is. It's a tough one. It's definitely characteristic. Well, maybe someday we'll continue that question on another chat. So, okay, for now, where would you love to live if you could live anywhere in this world?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I've been here my whole life. I visited a few places here and there.
Okay.
And as much as I liked other places, I still look forward to going home.
Okay. All right. So he's happy at home. Beautiful. What excites you the most?
Success.
Sure.
Get moving forward, seeing that things are a lot different today than it was a week ago.
Definitely.
That I'm seeing something that's working, and I know that next week's going to be a lot better than it is now. Mm-hmm. That really excites me and makes me happy. That brings me a lot of joy.
Awesome. Yeah. Development, change, growth. Great.
That's right.
All right. And the last one, tell me, if you had to choose a superhuman ability, which one would you choose? It's another one of those kind of unfair
I watch a lot of X-Men. And, I hear everyone go, I want to be like Wolverine. I don't want to be, Wolverine looks like, he didn't have the claws and everything. I don't think anybody would touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Nightcrawler, where you just kind of pop up wherever you want to go.
Right.
I like that a lot.
Quick teleportation.
That's
with the
right.
inclusion of great athleticness. I don't know if that's a word, but
I don't want a tail, though.
You don't want a tail.
No tail.
But it's a prehensile tail. It grabs things, it works like another appendage.
Yeah, still. Nah.
Okay, no tails.
I'm not a tail guy.
Not a fan of tails. All right, no problem. No problem. Let me see here. Okay, so tell me, what's your follower, fan, viewer most asked question that you get?
What's my problem?
Great. See, another one of those questions that I'm jealous of. All right, that means you're doing something, right? Right? You're pushing
That's
some
right.
kind of boundaries. Okay, do you have any other channels out there?
Nope, this is it. I was doing a channel for guitar lessons about 4 years ago, but right now this is my channel. This is what I really want to see grow. The thing about social media is it's not written in stone. You're going to get blocked. You're going to, a lot of bad things can happen in social media. The most important thing for me right now is knowledge in case something happens.
Right.
I can get back on my feet and get back to where I was within a month or two.
Well said. How to bounce back. A lot of people, they start out, they're doing well, they get a troll, they get a couple troll kind of comments, and it really puts them down and sometimes out of the game. So you got to figure out how to make that fuel you and really push against it. And, you don't got to hate back. You can even thank them back. So it's you make it work.
Well, you know what? Talking about trolls, though, it's like when you're dealing with that, I've had to do a lot of soul searching. I get called names on a regular basis. And, there's either constructive criticism or there's someone just being a punk.
Yeah, that's true, too. Yep.
If somebody says something nasty to me, I definitely have to sit down and figure out what my part is in it.
Yep.
If I'm being fearful, if I'm being self-seeking, and then I have to figure out exactly what I'm doing in order for me not to get ran over by that truck again. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So,
and that's a good answer because, as I mentioned before, as YouTubers, we don't have managers. We don't have people that tell us what to do, that kind of help lead us. We're leading ourselves, and these people around us, our viewers, really help us shape ourselves. And, they do make us double think some things we do, and that's a good thing, as long as you're strong enough and you do take it the right way, you approach it the right way. So...
Has someone chased you with an ugly stick on the net for the shows?
Oh, good question. I have to say, honestly, I've been, since this show started, and now my new other channel, it's been really, really positive. The only negative comments I got was after I commented somewhere else on YouTube, and not anything negative, but then their fanboys and girls came to my video and they try to state something bad, but it's got no foundation to it, so I just know they're trying to retaliate for that. But I never did anything to be offensive. I just said something. It's just that's how some people react. There's a lot of immature audience out there, and that's what it helped me realize. So I didn't take it to heart because I knew exactly where they came from and why. and it was just kind of silly. So honestly, that's it so far. So I'm happy with that. I hope it doesn't change.
And also keep in mind, you know what? It's like, it's so inhuman these days where it's like, right now I'm talking to you and I've talked to you on the net before, and, you know, I recognize you as a human being.
Yep.
You know, but some people aren't like that.
Nope.
Some people, they think, I'm never going to see this person ever again. And then their true colors do come. I've seen people's true colors come out on the net. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Usually you got to keep in mind is usually if somebody is being horrible towards you, they're usually just treating you the way they're treating themselves.
Exactly. That's right. In the end, they're the ones that are suffering the most. And once you realize that, it's not so bad. And it's
you got to feel bad for them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's surprising how old these people are. You would think that they're teens. Most often they probably are, but some are just older people and they're protected. They're, as they call, keyboard warriors. That's how things are.
Keyboard warriors.
Right?
So. Well, I think that, you know, some of these people, they haven't had certain keys on them touched in years, so they have to go on the net and take it out on people.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and that reflects on the population and humanity in general. So there's a lot to learn from these little lessons here.
Yep.
All right,
exactly.
Mike. What final message would you like to leave your followers, fans, and friends with? All those Mike people, those Glendinning people out there.
The reason why I keep doing this and what I get out of it is I strongly feel that, you know, the message I have behind everything I'm doing is there's some ugly things in this world. But I feel that this world's worth saving. I feel that there's beauty in everything, no matter how ugly it is. There's humor in everything, no matter how ugly it is. And the thing is the world's worth saving. You know, there's a lot of people who don't feel like that. A lot of people don't care. But I disagree. And push comes to shove, you know, the story of my life and my music, that's what I'm trying to tell people.
That's right. Fight till the end. Fight for the good. Fight for good creations. Don't give up that hope. Yeah. Nature and the world is a beautiful place. If humans mess it up in some cases, so what? We're human, so let's push that force the other direction. So, yeah, well said, Mike. All right, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode with Mr. Mike Glendinning. And do check out...
Thanks for having me.
There, you got it. And do check out his website, MikeGrungeJazz.com. MikeGrungeJazz.com. And when they get there, what are they supposed to do?
Buy something.
Yeah. You see, is that hard? Can you do that? Can you push a couple buttons and maybe write some numbers? I mean, how much effort does that really take, people? Come on. So go to that website.
Buy something for people you don't like.
Yeah. What a great idea. There you go. You never know. Yeah.
You know, think about it. If you don't like somebody and you know you know what? Look, if you know somebody who don't like you and you know they'll hate my music, don't you think you feel obligated to buy my music?
There you go. You never know who they're going to throw that CD at out of anger and who might be the next biggest fan of Mike.
And you'll keep indie music alive.
There you go. Important. Keep those artists moving. Keep new things growing. Not that crap that's on TV that's bought over by larger entities out there. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you have, shoot me a like down there. Of course, it helps us out. It helps the channel out. That's how YouTube works. And if you'd like to see Mike again, then please let us know below. So, Mike, here we go. Our digital handshake. Just that moment. Yes, I'm keeping it. 21st episode, guys. Thank you, Mike.
How about a power punch, dude?
There we go. Fist bomb. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. Oh, look at that. That is so cute. Isn't that cool? All right. There we go, guys. Have a great day or night wherever you are.
Thanks, Arthur.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye, guys.
Subscribe and comment down below, and maybe you can be on our next show. Be sure to check out Arthur Kidawa's gameplay, monsters, and other work.
With this program as well, so anytime you want to be featured, just let me know. So if there's a great YouTuber that you want to see interviewed, and if you know some questions you want to ask them, let us know who it is and what questions you have. And again, if you're a YouTuber and you want some more viewers and more subscribers and more fans to meet you and find out about you, this is a great chance for you. It's a great opportunity